going slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad.
Hello. How are you? How are you, Aloysius? You've got a bit stuck in your story. Oh, again? You're always getting stuck in your stories, Aloysius. Aloysius is stuck in his story again. In what way are you stuck in your story, Aloysius? You've got it all the way to the end, and you've got your hero dangling over a precipice, but you can't work out how to rescue him, and so you're thinking of having someone just swoop in and save him like Superman. Okay, is Superman in your book? No. Okay, so it's not in your book. No. Is there any other way that you could save him? Is it what kind of a book is it? Is a straight realist narrative. You want to bring in some magical thing to save your character in a straight realist narrative. Yes, because you can't figure out how to deal with it. Yes. Aloysius, what you want and what you so cannot have is a Deus Ex Machina. What does that mean? Well, roughly translated, it is a Latin term for a Greek concept called God in the machine. It comes from ancient Greek theatre where, when they had got their heroes into a position like yours, they would winch down a god out of the top of the theatre to put everything right. Yes, it was a lousy solution. It's Deus Ex Machina is easy to remember. It's Greek for lazy writing. Yes, it's up there with and then they all died or and then I woke up. Yes, and all of you know, even you, Aloysius, know, and then I woke up is not an effective or acceptable way to end your story. It's dreadful. Do I have an example of a Deus Ex Machina? Well, indeed I do. And one of the Greek playwrights who used to use this a lot was Euripides. Euripides, Euborides. Yeah, really, really bad old joke, but it helps you remember how to say Euripides. Euripides in Iphigenia in Aeolus. Yes, I managed to say Iphigenia. Oh, you have no idea how long it took me to learn how to say Iphigenia. In Iphigenia in Aeolus, Agamemnon is supposed to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia. And Euripides goes and pulls the whole tragic climax of that play by having the goddess Diana remove the girl and put a deer in her place. Yes, that really, really does sound very much like somebody coming along and just reviving Cordelia. Oh, no, she's not dead. And completely wrecking the end of King Lear. Absolutely. The reason why you don't want to use a Deus Ex Machina, especially not if what you're trying to write is something moving, is because you undercut the tragedy and you wreck the cathartic quality of the play. Shakespeare knew this. Shakespeare doesn't use these in his tragedies. You get the full crushing consequence of your own stupid actions. Yes, that's why Her Infernal Majesty likes Shakespeare. Yes, indeed. Indeed, she very, very into that. But Deus Ex Machina gets used in other things as well. Generally speaking, fantasy and science fiction are very, very guilty of these things. Yes, I know you're writing a realist narrative, but so I think you've got to let your hero go splat, to be entirely honest, because that's reality. What about The Life of Brian? Yes, but The Life of Brian is broad comedy. and the aliens that pick up Brian in the life of Brian is entirely in keeping with the completely surrealist comedy qualities of the Pythons. So no, you can't do what Brian did. But science fiction and fantasy are generally pretty guilty of pulling out Deus Ex Machinas. They pull out some sort of fourth dimension wizardry out of their asses that has not been mentioned once in the entire book to rescue them. Like what? Like Harry Potter. Harry Potter, at the end of the second book, he's been poisoned by a basilisk and he's dying. And he's sort of like, okay, well, at least I get to see my parents. But then the Phoenix comes down and cries on him and heals him. And there is absolutely nothing said in the previous 100, 200 pages of the book, anything about Phoenix Tears being healing. And so we just sort of supposed to accept this because, oh no, we can't kill Harry Potter in the first book, but the second book. Personally, I think you should kill Harry Potter earlier and then let Neville save the thing, because Neville doesn't seem like he's a particularly big character, but that would have been a really, really great bait and switch by the last book if Voldemort killed Harry and then Neville killed Voldemort because Voldemort picked the wrong boy. That would have been good. That would have been like, but no, Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina, as far as the eye can see in those books. Awful. People use it a lot in children's books because they think that children are not going to be discernible to know the difference. Child who was discernible to know the difference. Child liked villains, wanted to see them come out on top because they were often better written. Child hated Deus Ex Machina. Weird child. But generally speaking, it's very bad plotting. And what it means is that you've boxed yourself into a corner, and instead of creating a stupid, improbable way of getting yourself out of it, it means, unfortunately, you have to go back and do a whole load of rewriting because you can't use a Deus Ex Machina. Remember, it's Greek or Latin, but it's Greek for bad writing, lazy writer. Okay? So, what are you going to do, Aloysius? You're going to go the Monty Python route. So, because it's too hard to redo your entire book. Well, in that case, Aloysius, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to read your book. I do not read books with Deus Ex Machina. No. Well, you can be as disappointed as you like, but I'm not going to read that. I think you have to go back and restructure your entire book so that it has a proper ending, so that you can work out how to save your hero without pulling out fourth dimension wizardry. Yes, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to get a decent plot and to have things structured properly, but that is the job of a writer, Aloysius. So, no more Deus Ex Machina, okay? Okay. And for you guys, no more Deus Ex Machina, even if it is for children. Okay? Okay. Der Wolkerfinger, ich bin ja, ich muss mit sa. Bye-bye.
If you would like to support this channel, come across to the Black Cockie Press website www.blackcockiepress.com.au, where you will find books, writing courses and other materials to help with your writing.